Three, two, one, boom. So welcome to the 20th episode of the UnCut Theory Podcast.
Yep.
We thought that, at least as far as I'm aware, we thought that we would film something in the holidays that we had, but that didn't go as planned because I had certain things that were supposed to be done. Before that, I had exams and stuff like that. So, life happens, things don't go as you plan and stuff. So I think that's what was pretty much happening in my life. That's what has been going. So I have some special ideas, some stuff that's going on in my head that we can talk about. What do you think about it?
Sure thing, go on.
First of all, I would like to address the Andrew Tate. I don't even know where to get started. Andrew Tate got arrested and then he was out of the prison. There was a SWAT team.
Romanian SWAT, basically.
Yeah.
And he posted a bail for I don't know how many dollars. Again, he is
You broke your own rule.
Okay, I broke my own rule. For those of you who don't know, YouTube has become extremely strict in curse words and swearing and stuff. And we basically sort of want to avoid that.
Police.
Yeah,
we made a policy between us.
Yeah. And I immediately broke it.
I immediately broke it. Also, you
probably need to censor this one because this was a bit too early, I think.
Okay, sure.
Sorry for the extra
I'll just do it, but don't worry about it. So the thing that I was saying was, as far as I'm concerned, one of the things that I've noticed over these years is the fact that because I make YouTube videos and stuff, I've realized that when I speak stuff in life, my thoughts are at least 30-40% more well articulated than they used to be. Because when you speak on YouTube, stuff can have consequences.
Exactly.
So you are well aware of the stuff that you're talking about. But that does not only translate to who you are as a person, that somewhat becomes a part of your life after a particular point of time. So that's what has happened with me to a fair degree. When I speak in real life and stuff, I see people, they don't know what they're talking about. They start with a different conversation, move to number 2, number 3, number 4, and the conversation kind of sidetracks, takes a tangent. You know what I'm saying?
I exactly mean what I'm 100% understand what you mean.
Yeah, so they just don't have any idea what they're talking about. But when I speak, I realize, this is a bit different, for better or for, I don't know, for maybe for good or for bad. But this is something that's really different. Okay, so coming back to the Andrew Tate thing, dude, I don't even know what to say. I see that people have sort of idealized Andrew Tate now at this point. People were going crazy on Twitter. They were like, "Oh, free the Topsy, free the Topsy." Is he really a person to be idealized? Think about it.
Again, the point that you made in the previous, the rich people episode, basically, how people become rich. It was, I think, episode number 17, if I'm not wrong.
Okay.
You basically mentioned the only reason that guy is living in Romania. Don't you think it's a bit sus? A person who's almost a billionaire, or literally a billionaire. Again, he's self-proclaimed. I don't know the real stuff. I don't think anybody can do it. Again, most of his money is probably so shady that nobody can audit him and stuff. But it all boils down to you are literally a billionaire. You're literally a billionaire, maybe a self-proclaimed one. But again, you have a lot of money. You have supercars and stuff. Both of the brothers have supercars and stuff. Yeah. Why do you choose to live in Romania?
I think now he's moving to UAE. He's moving to Dubai, and he was talking about it and stuff, and he was like, dude, I don't know, it's just weird to me. If you think about it long
UAE
enough,
makes a lot more sense because tax haven and stuff, but Romania, it makes you wonder, that's a pretty sus move. Why are you in Romania? A place which is I would not say known for corruption, but there are a lot of
corruption. I'm not sure if it's
every
more
place
corrupt.
Again, every place in the world is corrupted. Some are more, some are less.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm saying we live in India, and I think Romania is worse than India as far as I'm concerned. I think so.
Again,
maybe
I don't know what goes down there.
Wrong.
Yeah, I don't know what goes down there, so I cannot say anything.
Dude, India has its own problems, but India has a lot of advantages too. Like when I think about it and stuff, India has a lot of opportunities that these countries in the Eastern Europe don't even have. Like it's just fucking crazy. Like India has its own problems, and if you go back and watch our previous podcast, or maybe like if you live in India or are aware with the international stuff that's happening, you would sort of like have an idea about kind of like what we're talking about. India has its own political problems and stuff. Of course, we're not going to dive into every single one of them for obvious reasons, but I think like it's just a weird move to be living in Romania. And then now he's moving to like
UAE.
Dude, it's just weird.
And
I just don't
100% sure he's gonna be like welcome with open arms and stuff.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
His fan following at this point is just absolute. I was just going to say the F word. It's absolutely crazy.
Again, like YouTube has. I was just about to say, YouTube is like ducking us. Let's just say.
Yeah.
YouTube
But no
is like
problem,
ducking us.
Yeah.
At this point, like it's ducking with our minds and stuff.
Yeah, I understand. I think it's actually better for me in real life if I swear less. I have the swearing habit. I swear a lot sometimes. I feel it's a bit weird. Some people just don't like it. For me,
again,
I feel like
again, if you're meeting someone for the first time, maybe but again, if you're like acquaintances and stuff, and if you swear in front of them and they are like sort of offended, oh, why did you? Again, assuming you didn't say like a very offensive word, like I don't consider the B word, the F word to be like a offensive word. And if somebody who you are like faintly familiar with is offended by it, and hey, why did you say that? I'm just not gonna talk to that person, because you,
for sure,
again,
100%.
I don't want to be friends with someone who is like a stickler for rules and stuff.
Yeah. It's not just about the rules stuff. It's just about the fact that nobody likes being with people who are like too provocative and stuff. Like if somebody gets offended or like is very emotionally driven, you're most likely not gonna be friends with that person. Like everybody, and this is a weird thing. Like I would like to know your opinion about it. Don't you think when we make friends and stuff, we want the other person to be as normal as possible? What do we even mean by a normal person? Like,
again,
what's your definition of a normal person?
Again, you cannot define a normal person because it's an extremely subjective stuff. But
yeah, the definition is relative, fairly relative.
What I would say is, how I would define normal is what you don't show to a person when you're meeting them for the first time is what I would consider like normal. Like everybody is unique in their every sense, for better or for worse. Again, I'm not saying this stuff. Oh, everybody is unique in their own different ways. Yeah, they are unique in their own separate ways, but it doesn't mean that uniqueness has some sort of like a worth or like some sort of value, or like it has some sort of inherent value. Again, if everybody is unique, some do. The word unique doesn't make any sense. Yeah, but again, some do. Some people are like genetically gifted and stuff. They are like super geniuses, or they have like basically super athletes and stuff. But again, that's a separate topic. Back to the word normal.
Yeah.
When I meet someone for the first time, I'm not gonna tell them, hey man, do you watch anime? Again, maybe it could be an icebreaker and stuff, but like I won't go into the deep downs of what like I like and what I consider to be nerdy, and I'm gonna basically plaster it on somebody else.
Hey, Yuvi, I don't know what happened for the past 15 seconds or so.
Yeah,
I think
I think basically my internet just... Oh, fuck me.
Just look at the ping for a while. I think
I have no idea why my internet is misbehaving. Yeah, I think we are back to normal.
Yeah, so repeat what you said in the past 15 seconds or so, because people will just lose context.
Sure things. So the thing that I was saying is basically when I meet someone for the first time, I'm not gonna like show all my cards and show them all the nerdy stuff that I nerd about. I'm gonna show them myself in like a way that's societally acceptable, in the sense what a normal person would expect. Hey man, did you watch the FIFA final match? Stuff like that. I'm not gonna go there and say stuff like, hey man, do you collect Magic the Gathering cards and stuff like that?
I get it. Like you know what's interesting to me? Like I was talking to one of our common
that's how
friends
I'd like
today.
you can like define normal in like an objective way. Like the stuff you use as an opener when you meet someone, basically.
The stuff you use as an opener. That's a good way to put it.
Or like the persona you don when you're like meeting someone for the first time.
Yeah. I understand it. For sure. You know what's so interesting? Like I was talking to one of our common friends, which you obviously know about.
Yep.
And we were just having this conversation, like how significantly time and everything has changed. Like remember when we were used to be kids? I personally feel like everybody was way better in some sense. Like everybody used to be energetic, people had ambitions and stuff. But now when I meet people in real life, most people just don't have that, I don't know how to put it, like level of energy, or a lot of people call it as vibe, but it's just a weird thing. Like I sometimes feel like I have a difficult time being genuinely friends with people. I don't have problem in making like people my friends, but you know what I'm saying? Like I just feel like our ideas are very different from what the masses think about and stuff. Like don't you think it's a bit weird?
Yeah, again, I would not define it like our ideas don't match, because people can be friends even if their ideas don't match. And I think
I'll give you a small example, and then it will all make sense. Like remember when we used to be kids, like everybody used to talk about like supercars and stuff, and how one day when they'll grow old enough, they'll have like this huge ass mansion and like 5 different supercars, like blah blah blah. But now when you meet people in real life, they're like,
I understand.
I'm just gonna settle for this job that pays me like 30,000-40,000 rupees a month.
Again, that's.
But what about all those ambitions that you have?
Reality happening. That's it. Like reality had just dawned on them. Like, oh, this is all just a pipe dream. It's not gonna happen. And if you want to make that happen, it's a very, very treacherous road ahead, and you don't want to take that path. And most people just don't want to take that path.
For
Again,
sure, 100%.
Everybody wants to be rich. That goes without saying. Everybody wants to be rich. But the road to getting there is, first of all, so convoluted, especially with the dawn of like the self-help gurus and stuff, which just as we talked about, Andrew Tate, like that guy basically
literally a self-help
says
guru.
He's basically promising you, like he's guaranteeing you that you're gonna make a new business. I'm gonna help you make a new business. I'm gonna teach you the ropes of it, and I'm gonna make you like a multi-billionaire, stuff like that. And maybe it can happen, maybe it cannot happen. I have not tried it, so I cannot say for sure. But like the general advice that he gave is absolutely doo-doo, basically.
Also, like, if you really go and check out his Hustler University and stuff, the kind of people that he used as an example, that, oh, these were the people that, you know, alumni and stuff, these were the people that were enrolled in Hustler University. Now in 3 years' time, they're super rich. Dude, just check the stuff that they're doing. Like, most of them are like, I'll be honest, like most of the people out there that are bragging on the internet these days are just rich because of crypto stuff. Either they just like shorted it, or like they were involved in NFTs and all sorts of stuff.
I can summarize
like
it
a proper scam.
Yeah, sure. I can summarize it very simply. So basically, we just uploaded a short on like Andrew Tate from like episode 17 and stuff, and somebody commented on our short, and they basically said that all you have to do is literally pay that $50 you can basically charge people $50 a month by telling them what you learned from Andrew Tate's Hustler University. You can literally charge people by telling them what Andrew Tate told you. And it's sort of, everything that's sort of connected in my mind. It's sort of like I put 2 and 2 together. It's again, I just responded, yeah, it's basically that. And people are using it. It's sort of like a Ponzi scheme. It's literally a Ponzi scheme. You learn from Andrew Tate. You build your own course, you sell it online, and you make money. It's literally a self-help guru Ponzi scheme, an unspoken Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe not the literal Ponzi scheme, like goes by the definition, but in one sense it is, because you're literally using somebody's information.
Taking some product, some knowledge, whatever, you're rehashing it down and saying that it's valuable, and people just have to suck up to it, basically.
For sure.
And you're expecting, and you're like, it's basically like Andrew Tate is, again, I would say like Andrew Tate's audience does most of the job for him in terms of like marketing and defending him online and stuff, which always baffles me. Why would you go out there and defend somebody like that who you probably never knew, you would never know, you would never meet? And again, and it's not just about people or like people who are in reality. It like conjoins to like even fiction and stuff, where like people are out there defending their favorite video game publishers and favorite video games, favorite animes, favorite TV series and stuff. And I never understood the appeal of it. Like, why would you go out of your way to like basically argue with someone online, wasting all your mental resources and stuff? And but after like
for me it's just not that it's the one thing that I feel like it's further weird is the fact that almost every guy supports Andrew Tate.
Maybe not necessarily support Andrew Tate, but like support his takes. Like maybe if I go down my neighborhood and talk to like, let's just say 10 boys or like 10 kids, and I ask them do you know who Andrew Tate is? Again, maybe some of them know who Andrew Tate is. Not necessarily everybody knows who he is, but I can understand why they would like accept his ideology or like his ideology in general. Like if I explained to them what Andrew Tate stands for, they would be like, oh yeah, like he seems like a great guy. Like I would think most people would basically say that in like, how should I put this? In like basically private, not in public. Nobody's gonna go around in like an open public and say, oh, I like Andrew Tate.
I understand for sure.
Yeah, I think you understand what I mean when I say like basically nobody's gonna like accept that in public, like, oh, like I follow Andrew Tate and stuff. Unless you're online and you have like a anonymous mask basically, and you're using like an anime profile pic and stuff like that, and nobody knows your real name, nobody knows your real identity and stuff.
I just think like Andrew Tate is pretty much a positive influence, but you just have to be well aware of the kind of stuff that you're consuming, because some of his takes are absolutely baffling. Like some of his takes are absolutely crazy.
Again,
like
that's the reason why I said if somebody, if a random kid, I have like a random kid who is like 17, like somewhere between 14 to 17, 14 maybe it's a bit too low, from like 15 to 18, and I ask him, hey, do you know Andrew Tate? And this is what he stands for. This is what do you think about this guy? In private, he was like, I think he seems like a great guy. Like I think I don't disagree with anything he says necessarily. Maybe because again, you have to think about it like this. He is basically selling patriarchy to a certain extent, and I think we all you and I can agree on that, and everybody in the audience can agree on that he's basically selling patriarchy to a certain extent. And no, man, I'm saying this full on in the face. Why would you disagree something that puts you in a better position in the future, basically?
I get it.
If you understand what I mean. Again, I'm not saying that I support him, because it's not like, oh, I hate women or like I hate men. No, I just have a neutral stance on it. I think everybody deserves an equal chance. And it's not like, oh, giving someone right doesn't mean you have to take somebody else's right.
Exactly.
Yeah, again, that's my one of the biggest gripes I have against like the feminism movement and stuff. Like, again, sure, like we can give you equal opportunities and stuff, but that doesn't mean you have to take rights away from people.
Yeah, I don't even think anybody likes feminism in that sense, because
no, like there are a lot of advent supporters, but
yeah, but it depends. Like,
yeah,
see, like the kind of feminism that we hate, or we at least don't seem to participate or agree in, that is kind of like the radical left feminism, if you think about it. This idea of kind of like hating on men and cutting short on opportunities and stuff.
Yeah, I understand. Like most people like in the form of feminism side and stuff, who are like very vocal, like extremely vocal, lie in that sphere, I would say.
Yeah.
But again,
it's kind of like an
this is-
interesting idea. Have you
again,
ever
it's
thought
the-
about it? Like,
again, it's not just
human-
about, again, for the
Uh-huh.
people out there, oh, we are attacking the left ourselves. No, it's not about that. It's fighting the extremes, I would say.
yeah,
I hate
anybody
the
who lies
extremes.
on the extreme. Exactly.
Yeah, I
same,
hate the
same,
extremes. I
same.
don't hate the left. I don't hate the right. I just hate the extremes.
Extremes, exactly. Because that's where stuff gets effed up. Again, I didn't say the F word.
Good work.
Okay, have you ever thought about this idea? It's rather a bit, I wouldn't say it's political, but it's kind of like a bit weird to think about it. Have you ever thought about it? Like, we have had so many human civilizations over these years. Every one of them was pretty much governed by patriarchy.
Yep.
Like, we have had amazing female leaders over these years, but we have never had even a single time when it was like pretty much women in power.
Yeah.
Don't you think it's a bit weird to think about it?
Again,
And now all
people
these
can-
radical feminists just want women to,
Again.
what's one of the things
I
that,
understand I understand what you're playing at. You're basically saying that people want, now they only want women to rule, because in the entirety of the history of the world, only men have ruled. So what these these extreme feminism want is basically, from now on, no male in the power, only females, which again boggles me. Again,
yeah,
I am okay with giving you an equal representation. I am 100% okay with having women in power as long as they are competent.
exactly.
Again, that's
Underline the word
basically-
competent over
yeah, this is where I draw the line. If somebody is competent, that's like the
there.
only requirement that should be there.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not just
100%
for
agree.
representation. It's not just for representation. It's about competence first and foremost.
Exactly. For sure. See it as a weird thing, to be honest, to be very fair. Because like, even since back in those days, like, Andrew Tate wasn't famous, and we used to like look at these clips of Jordan Peterson or somebody like Ben Shapiro or anybody kind of like ranting on feminists and stuff, and kind of like just taking down their takes and stuff. It was a bit weird, like how extreme have people moved as far as like the political side of the spectrum is concerned. Like,
Yeah.
people literally hate on each other because of that.
Again,
I just don't understand it.
it's exactly like all gas, no brakes. Or like Andrew Callahan, the guy with like the weird afro hair, who
I
goes
think I've heard
around.
this argument.
Yeah, you've definitely seen like the guy who basically did the video, the Crip Mac video.
Yeah. The guy who like runs
55th
around with a mic and
Street.
stuff, and
Yeah.
and he does like interviews and stuff.
Yeah, he basically does like,
I've
yeah, he's sort of like an indie journalist and stuff. And
Uh-huh.
he basically did I don't know if maybe it was a recent video, maybe it was way back then. He basically did a video on the NRA.
I think I've heard about it.
Okay, I think this is a bad example. I should probably take again. He made a video on like the satanic cult and the cult of Satan versus the Christians. That was basically the video. So there, somewhere in America, I don't know where, Philadelphia, Ohio, something, I don't know. There was this satanic conference that was happening, and there were like hordes of Christians outside, like not maybe Catholic, but like God-fearing Christians, as I say, who were there, like holding posters like "Jesus will forgive you, just turn your sides, you will rot in hell otherwise," stuff like that. And this, and he again, why I like his dog journalism base is he shows both sides. He shows the absurdness in both of the sides.
Yeah.
And then basically he's interviewing a guy who is basically against the satanic cult and saying, oh, this should not happen, this is wrong, and all these people will be punished by God and stuff. And then comes around a girl who is, let's just say, she is with the satanic cult, and she sort of defends, or like she's sort of arguing with him basically, and saying that, oh, I was abused as a child when I was when I was a child, I was abused by my father and by the people of in my church and stuff. And when I what I did, basically, I reached out to the church. I asked, the church for help. I asked Christianity for help, and they refused and told me just shut up and get on with it, basically. And basically now she says like the satanic cult or the satanic church basically helped me. They helped me and my mother. They basically gave me they took us out of that bad neighborhood. They gave us a house in like a very good neighborhood. They stabilized our life, saved us and stuff. And again, he basically showed the bad side of Christianity and the good side of the satanic cult again. And after that, he goes into inside the conference, and everybody again. It's sort of again the way basically the Church of Satan वगैरह. It's basically, I don't know what exactly they are called, because there are two of them. One of them is basically a parody. The one that I'm talking about. Again, it's basically opposing. They are not worshipping Satan. They are just opposing Christianity, if that makes any sense. They are not there to like worship Satan. They are there to oppose Christianity.
Yeah.
And like just
100%.
give them a middle finger and stuff like that. That's sort of their ideology. And they don't like worship Satan. They think that, oh, he is sort of like this intellectual guy, or like he was sort of a knowledgeable being who was cast down by God. Why? Because he asked a question. Basically, like again,
I understand it.
Yeah, basically. So this is where he showed the absurdness of the church, or like the Christians. After that, he went to the satanic church, and like he made a mockery of them. Like they they are going around I think you're.
Yeah, I'm dying. Just keep talking. Just keep.
Yeah,
going.
sure. So basically, so he goes into their conference, and they painted like a cross that is opposite, which is basically the sign of Satan and stuff. And everybody that's entering the conference has to like scream hail Satan, stuff like that. And they are doing like, how should I put this? Do you know what is BDSM?
You know, this will get 100%.
Probably not. No, believe me, it probably won't.
Just stop there. I don't think you should go any further, because it will 100%
Okay, sure. I'm gonna cut there. Again, they're doing this sort of stuff. Everybody's wearing like that sort of clothing. You understand what I mean? And
100%, bro.
They are doing stuff. He's making a mockery of them. Then again, he shows the absurd. What I'm basically coming at is, while like Andrew Callan, he shows the absurdity in both sides, because these are both extremes.
Yeah.
These are both extremes of the opposite side, and I hate both of them.
For sure.
I absolutely hate both of them.
Maybe not hate, but at least I don't like both of them. I just don't want to ever like associate myself on either of those
it's more
spectrums.
about association. Again, if you are that side, and if you're not like involving me in it, or like you're not outside my house protesting and stuff, I have no issue with it. Just continue where we are. But I don't want to associate with you. I don't want your hijinks to basically affect me.
Exactly. That's my take with almost everything now. Like people, like, are you left wing, right wing? I'm like, whatever I am, it doesn't matter. If you are living your life, I'm living mine. Just don't.
The way I would describe it. I want a lot of money.
Yeah.
Now, this is only a single sentence. And if I ask somebody online, hey man, can you judge me based on this single sentence? He would say, absolutely. Why I would not judge you? Sure, let's do this. You are definitely a right winger, they would say.
Oh, for sure. Not just that you're greedy.
But then I would say, hey man, I'm a science student. I love the environment. I genuinely do love the environment. And I want there to be sustainable energy.
Yeah.
And I use this single sentence, or like, this is technically like a small paragraph, like a 2-liner. And I asked somebody on the internet, hey man, can you judge me based on this single sentence? He would say, sure, I would. And he would say, hey man, you are a left winger.
For sure.
I think this is where I basically made my point.
Yeah,
It's not about I align with this side or align with this side. It's all about what I believe in. And sometimes these things can conflict. Maybe not directly, but people think they conflict. because people think, oh, if you're from the left, you praise everything the left has done ever, and you will, everywhere a left-winger moves or like a left-wing politician moves, you are there kissing the floor. And it's same for
Yeah.
the right.
Yeah, exactly.
It's absolutely
And
same for the right.
stuff like that doesn't stop there. Like you give an excellent example to actually, like, you know what, people use these buzzwords all the time, like the same shit that they give Andrew Tate, like, you're a misogynist. Most people don't even understand the word misogynist. They just heard it online, they just say it, like, because you know how our brain works. We want everything to be simplified. Like, we want everything to operate in this like 2 + 2 = 4 logic.
Yeah,
like we
basically
want
white and
easy
black.
answers.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We want easy answers. So that's why we kind of like use these buzzwords. You know, one of the interesting conversations that we were kind of like having in the morning was like, it's really weird in this world that the left very easily targets the fact that men make more money than women on average, henceforth the patriarchy is corrupt. We have heard this argument at least 1 million times. I think we
Sure
both
thing.
can agree on that, and even in the audience people can agree on that. But don't you think it's rather weird for like think about it. As a man, it's very weird for you, because think about it. If you want a relationship, whether it's your girlfriend or your wife, you have to be making more money. Otherwise it would just never work.
Maybe
Think
not
about it.
necessarily. Again, there
Think
are
about
exceptions to a lot of rules. But
exceptions are
again,
like 1 in 100 case.
it's
I'm just
not
talking about like
exceptions,
general scenario.
It's about expectations, I would say. Like,
No, it's
you
not
are
just about expectations,
expected to
like-
make more.
It's no okay, I'll just kind of like jump more into like the nitty-gritty and details. If my wife is making marginally more money than me,
Yeah.
it's okay. For
Sure.
example, I make $200,000, she's making $250,000. Both of us
Sure.
are making in 6 figures. We are doing great. We are young, early, like stuff's going great. But let's say now she's making $500,000 and I'm only making $200,000. Now $200,000 a year is a lot of money, but in comparison to $500,000, maybe not so much. Do you
Sure.
think a relationship like that would ever work? Think about it.
It can work.
It can work, but I'm talking like general case scenario.
Again,
A
it's
woman
not-
who's making
again-
$500,000 would
again-
probably stay with a guy who's making like $2 million or $1 million. Just think about it for a second. Don't you think
Again,
in that
dude,
sense,
there are a lot of
No.
Again, you're
Just-
making a lot of assumptions in that single
No,
sentence.
I'm not making assumptions. Like, I'm just trying to make a very simple point here. Don't you think it's rather weird that women or it's just not just women, like the society as a whole wants this idea that like men and women should be equalized in this, like, we don't have like wage pay gap in like most organizations. We have rules, corporate rules and stuff, but like they want men and women to make same money, but women on the same side of the spectrum want men to make more money than them.
Again,
in a relationship.
I think now it's coming together. Like the gears in my head are turning.
Yeah.
So basically,
Yeah.
what you're saying is, again, there's
Mhm.
like a societal norm. Maybe
Yeah.
some people believe in it. Maybe some people don't believe in it. Even stats
But since it is
have
a
to do with-
norm, it's a general thing.
Again,
let's just,
yeah, it's a
continue
general
with it.
thing.
Go ahead,
It
go ahead, go ahead.
happens. Stats reflected stuff like that.
Yeah.
In a traditional sense, now I'm not talking about any. Let's just like again. Let's take it back to the 1960s and stuff. Women were expected to be housewives,
Yeah.
and men were expected to basically make money so that they can offset
Mhm.
each other. Like, you take
Yeah.
care of the house, I'll take care of the money that runs the house, but you run
Yeah.
the house basically. So this is how it was. And not to say the women didn't work before that. Women definitely worked before that. But this was sort of like the societal norm. And from
Yeah.
and after when women always made money.
Yeah.
Always. Like, if you
Yeah.
don't want like you want hard stats and stuff, just go look at like World War II when basically every single man was basically enlisted, and they wanted somebody to run the industries. Because those tanks are not gonna make themselves,
Yeah.
so they employed women.
For sure.
Simple as
For
that.
sure.
And it's not to say that women were never employed, but when, let's just say, the advent of the modern age, people wanted fairer wages, which I 100% agree with. If you are competent and if you're doing the same work as somebody else, I think no sane person on this planet Earth can say you deserve less than the same person who is doing the same work.
For sure, 100% agreed.
Exactly. But now the norm is basically women have to do, again, because we are carrying over tradition and tradition doesn't change in a single day. Women are still
Yeah.
expected to do like the household stuff, and now they're earning the same amount of money with the same, but the let's just say the parent or like the male or like her significant other is making the same amount of money as her, but now she's expected to do extra work
Yeah.
because of the
100%.
household stuff. If you're making the same amount of money and you're doing the household stuff, you want that to be offset by basically raising the price or basically marrying somebody who's making more money than you so that it can be equal.
Yeah.
I think that's my general understanding. Again, evidence has it, not every woman is a household worker or like a housewife basically. And if you're making that
Yeah.
amount of money, you can always hire somebody to like take care of a child and stuff.
For sure, 100%.
Exactly.
100%.
And again,
100%.
this gap that you're talking about, I can barely understand it, because now that women are mostly, again, I'm not saying it's perfect everywhere, especially in India, I would say it's worse. The pay gap is probably worse in India than the US.
But I would say like most of the West is fairly egalitarian. I don't think women have any problems at all as such. That doesn't mean that women have no problems, but as far as like the wage pay gap and stuff, it's all settled down.
Yeah,
There are strict rules.
again, there are stuff that doesn't make sense. I understand.
Yeah, of
that.
course there is stuff. That's what I said. Like it's not like women don't have any
Again,
problems.
but,
They, of course, do. Yeah.
From a traditional standpoint, like way back then, this was basically how there was a balanced dynamic in a family.
Yeah.
And now that
100%.
women are also doing jobs, because in this insane capitalist world that we live in, you have to make an shit amount of money.
Again,
You have to make an insane amount of money. Again, it's only for repetitive and stuff, if you're not saying it in like the first 15 seconds and stuff. So,
also, I just don't care, to be honest. Like for me, it's more of a habitual thing. I want to
yeah,
really improve
exactly.
the fact that I
exactly,
don't want to swear,
exactly.
because we are not monetized at this point. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Again, YouTube, if you want to come at my home and like make me eat soap, I'm down for it. Just don't demonetize us. And not that it
Make me
matters
eat
currently.
soap.
So this was basically
ahead,
the way I understand it. This was a dynamic, and now it's being offset because women are expected to do the household work and earn the same amount of money. So they want somebody who can make more money so that they can offset this balance. And this is
100%.
like how I understand this stuff works.
Yeah. But to me, it's rather weird.
But again,
like, because
I would expect, again, if I'm a woman and I'm doing the household work and earning the same money as you, I would expect you to at least do something else that would help the family. Whether it's making more money or it's helping the family in some way, like taking care of the kids, stuff like that.
I don't think that really works, to be honest. Like, let's say, for example, again, that example, my wife is making $200,000, but now I'm just making $50,000. Do you ever by even a single chance think that would work in the long term?
Again,
Because I don't.
Again, I can put a curveball here. I would say, again, the woman. Okay, so there's a family meeting before let's just say they have already established this. I make more money, you make less money. I understand we are doing the same amount of work, but because I'm making more money, you have to take care of the kids. Basically, that's what the wife can say to her husband, and he has to comply. Let's just say he has to comply.
No, but the thing that I was saying was, if that's on the other side of the spectrum, it's totally fine. If I'm making $200,000, the wife is making $50,000, no problems. No problems.
But are you
what's
taking
weird to
care
me.
of the kids?
No, I understand she has additional responsibilities,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I'm saying like that would never work. That's what I'm saying.
Again,
And of course, like, let's
I
be
understand.
honest.
I understand.
not-
Again, if you are a woman and you're making more money than your husband, and you are also taking care of the kids, it's say whatever you will, it will like sting somewhere deep inside. Like, what are
For
you
sure,
doing? Like,
100%.
I expect you to do something more. But this is a very fair example. But there is always division of labor in everything. How Karl Marx said, basically.
Yeah.
Socialism in the house. So
Socialism
basically,
in the house.
if let's just say,
That's a great point. Actually, we'll come back to that socialism in the house.
socialism
Just go
in the
ahead.
house. And again, you can say this again. If I'm making the lunch, dinner, and breakfast, you have to drive the kids to the school.
Yeah.
You can always again, if I'm making the food, you have to do the cleaning. And this is what happens in my house. Like, my mom almost never cleans. It's almost my dad, but it's mostly because like my dad has like slight amounts of OCD. Like, he always scolds me when my room is not clean, and he's a clean
100%.
freak basically. So that kind of pushes it more. And he sort of when he's on when it's a weekend and on a Sunday, he would like hand both me and my sister. He would give me the mop, and he would give my sister like the broom, just clean the house. And this happens very often, and it's a clean dynamic. I think it's a clean dynamic.
For sure, 100%. 100%. I wouldn't
Again,
disagree.
it doesn't matter what the politicians think about it. If both of you and your wife, or in case you and your husband, can come together, talk about it, and come on clean terms. I'm gonna do this. You are gonna do that, and both of you think that it's okay. It's okay.
I
If
understand.
both of you have a mutual agreement that, I'm making more money, I think you should do more. Even if you can do more, just help some stuff in the house. And if both of you are on like a similar pace, or like on a similar benchmark, where you have agreed, okay, again, you think I'm not making that much, I'm gonna help in the house. Simple as that. And if there's an agreement that both of you have come to, just honor the agreement and do your stuff.
Absolutely, 100%. But I think, the weird stuff is that because now, for the past, I would say 5 decades, because women is like never used to make money, or maybe not that much, and now they're almost equal. I think it has in some sense changed society. Like, think about it. And this is a question that kind of like really boggles me sometimes. If I'm married, how will we split the money? This is not an easy answer. It's not like we'll do 50-50. That's why I said we'll come back to the socialism and the house agreement, because it's not that easy.
Division of labor. Karl Marx.
If I get to a point where both of us are making crazy amount of money, like let's say I'm making like $1 million, or maybe like $500,000, like $500,000, and my wife is making like $800,000. Now there is a difference between $300,000, and it's a lot of money. But because after a particular point, money doesn't matter, or like in retrospect, it doesn't matter. Like, it's not like if you go to like the grocery store and you're like, who's gonna pay like $278 for groceries this weekend, or like whatever that's going to be. Like, you're not gonna worry about that kind of stuff. But like I'm saying, in the initial phases, it's a very tricky thing. Don't you think it's a bit weird? Like, because like I remember back in the day, I used to hear like Jordan Peterson's conversation about like couples coming to him about therapy and stuff, and one of the weird things that he even noticed as a practitioner in his days was the fact that when people get married, they don't notice it, but as far as like time passes by and stuff, because now women make money, women are also competitive, and men were almost always very competitive, if not hyper competitive. The competitiveness in the relationship ruins the relationship. Again, it really does. Like, it really does.
I think it goes without saying. Again, in a exceptional way, it can work out. Exceptions. I'm talking about exceptions here. But in a traditional sense, that's the thing that I talked about. You want to be equal in a relationship.
Yeah.
If maybe not 100%, like 50-50, like some 51-49, 45-55, something like that.
What if it's like 80-20?
What?
What if there's like 80-20? Then what?
Again, if you're making a joke, that's a very good joke, but
no, it's a Pareto principle joke.
Again, it's not about
75-25.
Again,
what about that?
Getting back to it, it's not about how much the actual difference is. It's how you think the difference is.
Absolutely, exactly.
Like, if I think, if you're again, I can make all the money in the world. If you're gonna take care of the kids, fine by me. I don't care.
Yeah.
if you have a mutual understanding and you think, oh, both of us are doing the equal amount of job, and which most likely never happens, because my parents always bicker about this.
Yeah.
Like my father comes home from office and stuff, and he's like, he goes to my mother, yeah, all day you're doing is, again, not in like a YouTube, especially for YouTube, not in like a very violent way or something like that. It's like trash talk and stuff.
A
like
joke, yeah.
bantering, basically, bantering.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you all sit all day, you do nothing, and all you do is watch Netflix and stuff. Because again, my mom loves like horror movies and stuff like that. She loves horror content. Because she loves like watching Netflix, and like she has almost watched everything on the Netflix catalog, especially in the horror genre. Again, so this is what I'm talking about. But deep down, even our fathers know, oh, she's doing a lot for the family.
Yeah.
Again, as long as both of the partners think that we have a mutual understanding that you're gonna do this, I'm fine with this, I'm gonna do this, you are fine with it. We have an agreement.
For sure, 100%. But it's like really tricky, to be honest, because not a lot of people can give advice on that, because
again,
it's new stuff.
Again, let me put this like a different spin on it. There is a millionaire, there's a billionaire somewhere in the world, and he marries a woman. Do you think he needs his wife to do any work or like any sort of like a job, basically?
Absolutely, that's what the next thing I was going to say. Exactly. You said the same thing. Yeah.
He has all the money in the world, and whatever money, assuming she doesn't have a business already, whatever money she's gonna make from an average paying job, he can literally make 100 times that easy.
For sure.
So
this is
that relationship, money doesn't matter.
Yeah.
In that relationship, money doesn't matter.
For sure. This is one of the things even Andrew Tate talks about.
Again, let's just say you are in that billionaire's position. What do you expect from that relationship?
This is what I was coming up to. Like, this is one of the things that Andrew Tate himself told about. He was like, imagine a guy who's like rich, as you said, who's a billionaire, has like this stuff, has a supercar, boat, fancy clothing, bunch of stuff, expensive watch. And he's like, in that particular case, most men, I'm not saying all men, I would say like 99.5% men would expect
excluding
two things
all
out of
exceptions. Excluding all exceptions.
But they would expect only two things. A woman in that case only has to do two things. If she does anything beyond that, it's brownie points, but only two things. If she is pretty enough that you want to date her, and second, she is nice to talk to. That's it. Just think about it.
Way to objectify women, there. Again, he's talking about Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate didn't say
like, this is what Andrew Tate said. I have watched not all of the Hustle University, but I have watched like a significant part of it. So, what can I say?
But this is like so true. Of course, I'm not saying like everything the guy says is true, but this does make a lot of sense. Think about it.
What if the roles are flipped, then?
Oh, then like shit hits the fan. It's over.
Again,
I'm telling you, like, life as a woman is very different.
You are a woman. Let's assume you are a woman. I know it's pretty hard for you to imagine that. Same for me. But let's just assume you are a woman. You make $1 billion, which again you can make in this world.
Yeah, there are women billionaires.
Let the feminists
say
whatever.
Female billionaires.
Yeah, exactly. Let the feminists say whatever they say. You can easily make $1 billion in this economy, in like this current era, regardless. Because
not easily, but it's like a thing that's possible.
Again, capitalism is the great equalizer.
Yeah.
Again,
for sure.
I'm not gonna beat you physically. I'm gonna beat you in the free market, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. This is one of the most beautiful things that I like about modern day society.
Yeah, you can. If you got the metal wallet, you can definitely go ahead and make $1 billion, regardless of literally who you are and what you are.
Yeah. So, your group identity matters less. Your individual identity matters more. Nobody's gonna ask you what's your skin color, which country you come from, religion, blah blah blah. It's what value you are putting in. So continue your
analogy. So, what I was talking about is
Uh-huh.
the roles are flipped. You are a woman who is like $1 billion worth of net worth, let's just say. What
Mhm.
do you want to find in a man, basically? Again, I know it's not fair because he is technically a guy, but sure, go ahead, Deer.
Oh, dude, that's very tricky because I've always thought about this stuff as a man. It's very difficult, to be honest, to come to only one answer. Like, you want me to name like
Again,
three
Deer, it
qualities
was
and
also
stuff?
it was also very easy to come at an answer when the roles were switched.
No, when I think of it as a man, I would say three things.
Yeah.
Like, I would say she should be pretty enough to the point that I like her. Number two, I said already, nice to talk to. And Andrew didn't say the way I'm saying it, but he kind of like said the same way. And third, I would want her to be with me when stuff doesn't work. Like, in the long term side of the spectrum.
Loyalty and stuff.
Yeah, loyalty and stuff. Because everybody is like, if my life is going great, I throw a party. Like, everybody will show up at a party. But when stuff is not going great, there's a handful of people that will actually be down to help you. Like, that person should be on that list. Like, that person should be the one who I can count on. I would say three qualities. But now, switching the roles, it becomes rather a very difficult question, I would say. As a woman who makes a lot of money, I really don't know.
I've
never thought about it. At least
again, I would
a
say
solid
what I would
30
say
minutes.
again. The two things that apply to the women, I think, also applies to the men as well. I think.
I'm not super sure about it.
Of course, just think about it.
Good looking,
Good
agreed.
looking and good to talk to. Like, he's charismatic and stuff.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
But I think like there's 100 different qualities. Like, I'll just be honest with you. Like, even in the past and stuff, we have like joked about and stuff. Like, of course, not everything I'm going to talk about on the podcast, but like, men can say like, oh, this is a red flag in a woman. But the moment the girl checks those two qualities, I'll tell you, like, most guys are willing to compromise everything else.
Exactly.
For example,
This
I
is
don't
just
like girls
this
who
goes around to show the desperation that people have, and we have
No,
definitely
it's not
met
just
these
about the
people.
desperation. It's
Yeah.
just about the fact that it's very hard to find people like that. It's just very hard to find people. Like, for example, for the biggest time in my life, I've noticed this thing. If I find a woman who's smoking, it's a major turn off. There's nothing wrong with drinking. Like, if I find a woman who's drinking, no problems. The moment I find someone smoking, for some weird reason, maybe it's the fact that I grew up in India and patriarchy, blah, 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 whatever you want to say, it's a major turn off. But if that girl checks those two qualities, I think I can compromise on that. I think of course, like, when something like that happens, I would have a different answer, I suppose. But like, now I'm saying, whatever your red flags are, if those two check boxes are ticked, I think most guys, 98%, would compromise or would be willing to compromise on something else instead. Because those two check boxes are like extremely crucial.
Sure thing. But why do you
it's a
think?
weird?
Why do you think? Why do you think that, in case of a male billionaire, let's just say the check boxes are very small, but in case of a female billionaire, the check boxes are higher, or like more things to check out, basically. Because you said it yourself. Because you said it yourself. They are, again, those two qualities are, I think, go hand in hand in both of them. But in case of a female billionaire who is seeking like a male partner, there are certainly a lot more things. As you said, like, there are certainly a lot more things.
I feel like that.
Yeah.
For some
that's
reason,
what I'm
I don't
talking
know.
about.
Of course, like, also you have to consider the fact that I am a guy. I have my own biases.
Exactly. Again, this is not like a 100%. Like, we are not doing like a thought experiment here. Like, we are not scientists. We are no psychologists. He is a guy. He cannot imagine what it's like to be a woman.
Of course, like,
yeah.
Even if I think of myself being like that, there's going to be fallacies after fallacies because I cannot actually think like that. And also, you have to take into consideration that every person thinks differently. So, it's a bit weird, to be honest. But at least that's how I feel about stuff. Like, the world is a weird place, my friend. Like, this is what I've realized over these years. Everybody thinks so differently. Everybody has grown up in a very different environment. And the world is a weird place, to be honest.
Yeah, like
that,
the amount of variables that shape a person is like near infinite.
way too many. Yeah,
near infinite.
absolutely. Now, I think now I have the answer.
Sure, go
When I
ahead.
thought of, if I was a woman, if you look at success in a society, and it's not just capitalistic success, it's almost in every regard, like your physical health, your relationships, social relationships, all that kind of stuff. The people who have a decent IQ, by decent I mean IQ over 125, 130, and a higher level of
the average is
conscientiousness.
100. The average is 100, dude.
Yeah, but in most societies you can find people, like, at least I am studying in STEM field, so the people I interact with, mostly everybody has an IQ of more than 125. The good ones even have like 135 plus.
I don't think, again, knowing your friends, I don't think the IQ reflects their activities, let's just say.
That's what I'm coming up to. The first
Sure.
thing is IQ. The second is conscientiousness. For people who are not aware of conscientiousness, in simple language, I would say it's a person's ability to kind of like, or like the level of
Self-reflect.
understanding. Yeah, the level of understanding that you develop about your surroundings and the way stuff happens around you. If a person has those two things, a decent IQ and a fair bit of high, like, by higher conscientiousness means, like, I used to check my conscientiousness back in the day and it used to be around 65-70%. Now the last time I checked it, it was 84 or 86%. So that's like a really high conscientiousness. In simple language, that means I'm not a stupid person, or if I were to make bad decisions, now I'm
Said every
less likely
stupid
to
person ever. Said every
Yeah.
stupid person ever.
No. But I'm saying, like, if I
Just
were
kidding.
to like make bad,
Again. I think
understand what you're saying.
Again, we can all agree that he's not. If he is gonna like show off his matrimonial and stuff, which he's probably not gonna do, his dating profile is.
Uh-huh.
He's not gonna say only 120 IQ above. Again, he's not talking. He's talking about like
Yeah.
generalizing it. Like, oh, you have to be
generalizing a person.
generally an intelligent person. Like, again, you may not have an IQ that high, but you can again. how should I
But by
put
the
this?
kind of conversation you have,
Exactly,
just
like the
realize
way you
yeah.
converse. Exactly.
Yeah, and the conscientiousness stuff, I think those two things matter a lot, because think about it. If a person has a decent amount of conscientiousness, they will be, most likely, they will be willing to understand almost everything. Like, if you're having a bad day, you come up to me like, bro, I'm having a bad day. The fact that I have a decent amount of conscientiousness, I would in some way or the other relate to it, even though I might as well be having a worse day than you. You know what I'm saying? But a person who has lower conscientiousness would never be aware of their surroundings. They would be like, oh, I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
They would just be like busy
met
by
those kind of
themselves or-
peoples, and they are sort of like, I would say, like, they are tone deaf in most situations. I would say,
Yep.
like, that's
It's
how
just
would I would define like people like them. Again, it's not necessarily something wrong with them, but it's
But it's
sort
just
of
like,
like
I just don't vibe
you
with
need
them.
to read the room better, basically.
Yeah. Most people don't understand it. Like, there have been countless examples in my life where I have met people over these years. I just have a hard time connecting with them. And remember, this is kind of like the conversation that we have in the starting of the podcast. For some reason, I think conscientiousness plays a huge role, way more than you think about it, because
Of course, like,
it's just
reading
weird.
the room is something like you see in, like, I don't know, like like Tarantino movies and stuff, where like all the
Exactly.
people are like super geniuses, like they're constantly trying to one up each other and stuff like that.
Yeah. 100%. So, as
I
far
think
as
this is
I'm
a
concerned, I think...
Good place to end the
Why?
podcast.
Yeah, but it's not just a good place to end the podcast. I was just looking at my camera and stuff is in 3 figures now, meaning it's been over an hour. So
Yeah.
I think it's a good time to wrap it up. So anything else you want to talk about? Like, oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you guys, I think now, because my 6th semester has started in college, today was the first day. We are filming this on 2nd January.
So happy New
Happy
Year.
New Year, everyone.
Yeah.
Even though maybe if you're watching like 6 months from now, it would make us look stupid in some sense, but
Again, this
Either ways-
podcast is probably gonna come out on like the 6th. So
Friday.
yeah, he's right.
So the thing that I was saying was, we're trying our level best to get back to routine, and there's like so much stuff that both of us are planning to do on content. We'll make per usual a podcast on every Friday. This is about this channel. Then on the Clips channel, we'll try to post 3 shorts. That's on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
Yep.
If possible, here and there, we can even post like a 5-minute, 6-minute clip video, but mostly we'll be operating in shorts. Then on the show channel, we are working on that. Actually, after having this podcast and stuff, we might as well have a conversation about it, like that will go in person. Over there, we'll try to post videos and stuff. No idea how that will go. At least I have an idea, but we'll work on it. My personal channel, I'll work on it. I have my other Hindi channel as well, I'll work on it too. So there's like a lot of content that we'll be working on.
Yeah.
So stick around for that. And I think that's pretty much it. We'll catch you guys in episode 21, next Friday, same time, 7:30 p.m. Hopefully this time we'll not miss it, because for the last 3 episodes we have been taking like 2 weeks break, like make a podcast, 1 week break, make a podcast, kind of like that. And it's a bit weird when you come back. Like even today I was like checking up everything, like is everything fine, because we are not habitual of making the podcast stuff anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much it from our side. We'll catch you guys in next episode. Thank you so much for watching. Good night. Peace. Bye-bye.